Hello and welcome to another GCSE revision video, and in this video we're going to be looking at negative powers. Okay, so if we got something like a cubed and we're dividing by a, that's equal to a times a divided by a. So we can cancel a from the top and the bottom, and that gives us a times a, which is a squared. Effectively what we're saying is if we divide by the base, we're effectively taking one away from the index. If we repeat the process, we've got a squared and then we divide that by a. Well, that's just a times a divided by a, cancel the a's from the top and bottom, and that just gives us a. But if we try it the way we did before, that if we're dividing by the base, we're taking one away from the index, then that too should become a 1. So a to the power 1 is equal to a, which gives us the general equation: anything raised to the power 1 is itself. Again, if we repeat the process, we divide the a by a, we can cancel the a from the top and the bottom, and that gives us 1. Again, if we do it by the law of indices, what we're doing is taking 1 away from the index. Well, a is the same as a to the power 1, and if we take 1 away from the index, that gives us a to the power 0. And that brings us to another one of the laws of indices. Anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. What happens though if we carry on this process? We've already got down to 1. What if we divide by a again? Well, we've got a fraction now. We've got 1 over a. And again, if we take 1 away from the index, because we're dividing by the base, we now have a to the power negative 1. So anything raised to the power negative 1 is 1 over that something, otherwise known as the reciprocal of that something. If you have 1 and you divide it by a number, that is called the reciprocal of the number. And again, we can still divide by a, but this time we've got 2 a's on the denominator, so that's a times a on the denominator. So that's 1 over a squared, which is, if we're subtracting 1 from the index, well, that gives us a to the power negative 2. So a to the power negative 2 is 1 over a squared. In fact, any negative exponent or any negative index just means 1 over the positive index, or 1 over the number with the positive index. So a to the power negative 3 is 1 over a cubed, a to the power negative 4 is 1 over a to the power 4, and so on. So in summary, anything to the power 1 is itself, anything to the power 0 is 1, provided that something is not 0, otherwise we end up with 0 divided by 0, which is incredibly problematic and deserving of a video in its own right. And then anything to the power a negative index is just the reciprocal of the positive index. That is to say, it belongs on the bottom of a fraction. Okay, well, so much for the theory. Let's have a go at putting that into practice. Let's try something like 2 to the power negative 3. So what's that equal? Well, that's equal to 1 over 2 cubed. And 2 cubed is equal to, well, if we know our cube numbers, we know that that's equal to 8. So 2 to the power negative 3 is 1/8. If you didn't know your cube numbers, then you can just go 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try something like 3 to the power negative 2. Well, that's just equal to 1 over 3 squared, and 3 squared is equal to 9, so that's 1 over 9. Okay, why don't we try one more example? Let's try something like, let's try 5 to the power 0 multiplied by 5 to the power negative 2. Well, there's a couple of ways we could have done this. One of the ways is simply to say, well, 5 to the power 0 is 1, and 1 times 5 to the power negative 2 is just 5 to the power negative 2, and 5 to the power negative 2 is just 1 over 5 squared, which is 1 over 25. The other way we could do it is just to say this is equal to 5 to the power 0 minus 2, or 0 plus negative 2, which is the same thing, which is equal to 5 to the power negative 2, and that's equal to 1 over 25, or 1 over 5 squared, which is 1 over 25. Okay, I'd like to wish you all the best with your revision. Why don't you have a go at working through a few examples that you make up yourself. Just try combining some of the stuff we've already done, and I'll see you in another video.